Hello everyone and welcome to the 2026 Ford F-150 Lobo. This is now the second Lobo we've been able to actually review on the channel after the Maverick Lobo, and honestly it's a pretty interesting truck for sure. It doesn't really go as extensive, I would say, as the Maverick Lobo did, especially with all the Lobo badging and unique bits, but we do get a unique body kit outside, and definitely check out our full tour and review for all of those goodies there. I'll overlay some footage of that. But this is the interior of this truck, and if you didn't know already, this is based on the STX version of the F-150, which means it's not particularly creature comfort focused in here. It's very bare bones, and I'm a little surprised this is how they went with the Lobo. I get this is supposed to be sort of like tuner street truck, and kind of build off of it, but it may be a little too bare bones, even for this price point. And for 2026, we have a plastic steering wheel in here, cloth seats, no heating, no cooling, no really any amenities in here. We get a digital cluster, a touchscreen, and surprisingly we actually get Ford's Copilot 360, which means we got lane keep assist, blind spot, I think front and rear cross traffic alert and all that fun stuff, parking sensors, and forward collision warning. Maybe not front cross traffic alert, but forward collision warning. So some good amenities in terms of safety stuff here, but creature comforts, it's really just a lot of storage space, comfortable driving position, an overall smooth-ish ride, climate controls, and we do get this 4 auto modes. We have this 2-speed transfer case in here, as well as a few different drive modes and a locking rear differential. So it's not all bad in here. I like this touchscreen. The sync interface is pretty smooth and seamless, I have to say, and I love this digital cluster throughout the Ford systems here. But this interior is very, very bare bones. But we got a V8 under the hood, a 10-speed auto. Let's take it on a drive. We do get a reversing camera on this truck, which is nice. Pretty crystal clear, but no 360 cameras at all. And we do get a pretty configurable digital gauge cluster here. And I mean like really configurable. There's quite a lot of stuff you can do with this digital cluster here. You have like engine information, like engine hours. You also have, I think, some engine like temperature stuff in here, like a performance style gauges here. So if I go to gauges, we get engine measurements as well. And we can go to a more simplified My View page over here for like driver assistance, calm fuel, and you're pretty much not gonna wanna see your fuel economy in this because it isn't always the best, even though if you are driving efficiently, it can be somewhat decent. Pop it into drive. And as I did mention, we do get a few different drive modes in this F-150 Lobo, which is nice, including a sport mode. I'm shocked though that there's no Lobo mode as there is in the Maverick. Again, I think they could have gone a little bit more extensive with this whole Lobo package, even though they're getting the V8 and the body kit. It could have been a little bit more Lobo-ified in that aspect here. But for an F-150, this is a pretty overall nice truck. We've driven quite a few pickup trucks now on this channel, including a lot of Ram 1500 lineup vehicles. We've only really tested the Lightning on the channel of the F-150 lineup, but this is good to kind of get into as well. Now, this has a unique lowered rear suspension setup here, so just 2 inches lower on the rear suspension to have a little bit more of an even overall design on the outside, a little bit sportier of a look. We're in normal mode right now. We have tow haul mode, eco mode as well, which is not particularly fun, and a sport mode, which turns on for auto here. We do have an auto stop or start button as well. You can turn off, huge right in the center there. It automatically turns off in sport mode, which is nice. And you can see here, it shows us all of our gears here for our 10-speed auto. We have 400 horsepower in this truck, 410 pound-feet of torque out of this V8. It's pretty punchy. I have to say though, we just got out of the Ram 1500 with the Hemi that they brought back in, and that was not particularly a sports packaged version of that 1500. And I would say that exhaust was much louder than this particular one on this Lobo trim. I wish this was a little bit louder actually. Coming to a stop is really easy. The brakes work really great in this truck. Really good with visibility in these F-150s as well. And overall, it's a pretty nice driving experience. I really have no complaints in that department here. But you can see in sport mode, we get a little bit more throttle tuning in here, so it's a little bit more aggressive than normal, and definitely more aggressive than in eco mode for sure. But what I do wish was in this truck was a little bit more sport for the Lobo package. Steering is pretty much overall, it feels the same as a regular, you know, F-150. And same thing with the overall suspension setup. It's a little bit on, I would say, a little bit firmer tuned, but nothing too dramatically different there on my end. We do get these Bridgestone Alenza tires on here, which aren't particularly very sporty in this aspect of this vehicle here. So again, it's a really appearance package focused truck, I feel like, at the end of the day. And that's kind of how I felt in the Maverick Lobo, though it did again have that Lobo mode, which kind of did some trick stuff with the differentials on that vehicle to kind of allow a little bit more fun of a driving experience. We do have this sport mode here. You can turn off traction control, but I think they could have done a little bit some more here. Overall handling dynamics of the F-150 are pretty good. We have a, you know, not particularly sharp steering, not particularly communicative, but it's a big pickup truck at the end of the day. Though with attaching this Lobo name to it, and how they're kind of infusing this street truck performance aspect into this truck, you got to kind of test it in those ways. So pop it back into, we'll do eco for a second here on the highway. It pops it right back into 2 high. It's really, really smooth on the highway, which is great. That's one thing about this. It's generally pretty quiet in here. Surprisingly, not a lot of road noise. We do have some road noise from these pretty large side windows here, but that's really not bad at all. We do have lane keep assist as well for the highway, which is a pretty nice touch, part of that Ford Copilot 360 package. But acceleration in eco is just crazy. My foot is so far down on the throttle right now, and we're not going anywhere, which is why I haven't really used that this week. But it can pop it right back into normal mode here, not tow haul. Some cool animations on the dash. This is pretty good for daily driving. Now we do get regular cruise control in this truck here, no radar adaptive cruise control, but this is great if you were going on some road trips in your Lobo. And again, we have that lane keep assist we can turn on and off really quickly from the steering wheel here. But overall, as a package for this truck, at around $62,000-ish as tested, you're really paying for that appearance package, the V8, the 4Auto system, and that's largely it. I wish, again, there was like a Lobo drive mode or something. There was a Lobo-fied interior, some badges or stitching, or at least something to make it feel a little bit more special in here for this package, like I did with the Maverick. I was kind of expecting that with this truck, but that's not really what we're getting here. Instead, it's a really stripped out, bare bones interior, an overall bare bones basic package on this truck with, again, just the performance. And if they could get the price down a little bit more, I think this would be a little more of an appealing package. One thing I did want to kind of point out, though, is Ford does sell a supercharger kit from the Ford kind of racing or Ford performance division for this V8, and it's a factory warranty backed package here. And as we come into traffic, I guess this is the best place to talk about a supercharger kit, but that adds so much power to this engine. Like I think like 600-700 horsepower in that range. Add that onto this, sure, it may be 70 grand at that rate, but that would be a really cool truck, I think, with this engine and this whole sporty kit. I think that's where it gets a little bit more sense there, but that's the whole point of this. I think they really want people to take this, modify it, tune it, do whatever, and this kind of provides a pretty pricey but bare bones style package for things to be built upon off of. And overall, that's my overall impression, what I've gotten with this truck over the course of this week. It's relatively fine to drive on a day-to-day basis. There's nothing that's hampering the overall experience, but if you were going into this with a price for around 60 grand, expecting more, like I was just testing it this week, you're going to be a little bit let down in some areas. I think they could have done a little bit better. You can go get a Ram 1500, for example, and, you know, throw a sport body kit on it, and you'll have a much nicer interior and cabin space, and kind of almost the same kind of package as this particular truck is getting in that aspect here. Otherwise, thank you guys for joining us on yet another full tour and review and drive over at Allcarnews, and stay tuned for more coming soon. Cheers.